Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nonstop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. Like I said, I'm going to be spending this weekend just catching up on all the reading wrap-ups I haven't done and playing around with my childhood hair clips. These are Barbie. I was a huge Barbie girl growing up, and I don't even know how to like put these on properly, so I'm just gonna like whatever it and hopefully it won't look too bad. I have, I guess, two there. I'll put like one here. I actually have like a ton more of these. It looks kind of ridiculous, so we're just gonna roll with it. I actually have brown, or actually this brown lip crayon is a mix of tan and a dark brown that my friend got me a few Christmas back. The tan is like too light for me, and then the dark brown was like too dark for me, so I usually combine the two when I put it on. I don't usually put it on because I don't think brown is my lip color, but it's November and I feel like brown is kind of a November color-ish niche, I think so. Anyways, today I am doing my November 2020 reading wrap up. This month I consumed 3 audiobooks, 1 manga volume, 2 graphic novels, 1 physical book, and 2 picture books. I would like to say that this was a slightly below average reading month rating wise. Like always, we'll start with the audiobooks first. So book 1 and book 2 are the second and third book in the Embassy Row series written by Ali Carter. The second book is See How They Run. I've been meaning to continue the series for a long time now. I read the first book, All Fall Down, I think 2 years ago. I love Ali Carter. She is one of like my favorite authors, I would say, just because the Gallagher Girls series will always hold a special place in my heart. I like have 3 different editions of that series. I know, overkill, but not really. But yeah, I love that series. I would love for it to one day be a Netflix series. Oh, how awesome would that be? But yeah, so I've been wanting to read like all her books, and so I picked up All Fall Down 2 years ago. I didn't really like it, but I still wanted to like push through and like continue on. It was better than the first, I would give it that, but I still don't like the main character, which is one of my biggest issues. I think she's really annoying, and the love interest in this, he kind of has like a violent streak to him, which is not romantic and not charming, and we shouldn't be supporting that kind of love. So yeah, I think the thing with this is that Ali Carter is really good at like world building. She's really good with the political intrigue, and there's like royalty in this, and just like there's a lot of fun stuff in it. It's just like it gets boggled down by mainly the main character and then slightly by the love interest. But all other things aside, I gave this a 3 out of 5, and I totally did not give you a synopsis, but pretty much Grace, our main character, she lives on Embassy Row, which is where all the like offsprings of ambassadors live in this fictional country, and everyone thinks Grace is a little cray-cray because she believes that her mother is murdered, and yeah, she's gonna go crack that mystery. That was a terrible synopsis, but you get the gist, right? Okay, because yeah, next, obviously right after that, I was like, okay, I'm on a roll. Let's just pick up the third book. And the third book is Take the Key and Lock Her Up. So it's the final book in this trilogy, and I think it wrapped things up really well. I think it was a fair conclusion, although a bit too perfect, but still I had the same issues. Main character was too annoying, love interest was not charming, but everything else, like, you know, like I said, the mystery, the world building, the political intrigue, the royal factor, like they were all like good stuff. It just, I couldn't get over how annoying the main character was, and I ended up giving this a 3.1 out of 5 because it still suffered the same problems as the second book, but I think with it being the wrap up, I think it like was a good solid ending. Number 3 is Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. I have been meaning to read something by this author for a long time now. I am a romance reader. I read a lot of romance, and I feel like as a romance reader, especially like I would say maybe last year and the year before, like heavy NA romance reader, I felt like it was kind of criminal of me to have not picked something up from this author yet. So I finally got around to getting the audiobook for this. And this is kind of about the new girl, what's her name? Maggie? Is it Maggie? Give me a quick second. Yes, Maggie. So it's the new girl in town, Maggie. The reason why she has to move is because her father murdered her mother, and so she's in the new town, and she crosses path with the guy from the high school football team, Wes Ashby, I think that's his name, and his father is terminally ill and he's gonna die soon. So pretty much it's trauma bringing these two high school students together, and that's the story. There was nothing like glaringly like wrong about this. Like this was actually like pretty decent, but I think I've gotten to this point where I've read too many romance novels and nothing about this surprised or shocked me. Like it was just very much like in its genre, if you get what I mean. Like it wasn't bad, it just didn't like impress me. Okay, and so yeah, so I think that's just how like I kind of felt. And I think like there's like a certain point where you read too much like bad boy doesn't want to take the good girl kind of romance books, and you're just kind of like I'm over it. So that's kind of like how I was feeling, but there was nothing really wrong with this, and I could see why people would like it. And I think if I picked this up earlier in my romance reading life, especially when I was like heavily into like NA romances, I think I would have liked it like a lot. But yeah, this was good. It was good. It just didn't really impress me. And I think like two things that it could have done better that I think would have like give it brownie points was I felt like the small town vibes were kind of lacking, and the football aspect of this was also lacking. But I ended up giving a 3.5 out of 5. So that's it for the audiobooks. Moving on, we'll do the one physical book and then all the stuff with pictures, because I read a lot of stuff with pictures. But the one physical book I picked up this month of November was The Dare, written by L. Kennedy. This is the 4th and I believe final book in the Briar You series. I love this author a lot. If you've watched my other videos, you know that I like certify L. Kennedy to be the queen of NA sports romance. Like I think that is her title, and I was looking forward to this a lot, especially because I think, what book was it? Was it the second book? The Risk? It was so good. So good. But The Dare just didn't work for me. I thought like the cover was pretty, you know? And then I find out that this story is the main character, the main girl, she's thick CC. So I felt like, I'm assuming the cover's here. I felt like the cover didn't do the main girl justice. Like, does this girl look thick CC? Does she look like a bigger girl? No, but the main girl is a bigger girl. So what? So I felt like the cover, although beautiful, didn't do the character justice. And you can tell the main girl, Taylor, was not confident about her body and being in her head, and reading about how she's beating herself down physically was kind of like sad and tiring for me, as someone who like struggles with her weight. So I didn't really like that aspect. Another thing that really like did not work was, okay, I can understand when romance novels have one due to lack of communication breakup, but this book has two due to lack of communication breakup. And I can excuse the first one, although I don't like this trope. I can excuse the first one if the story is well written, but there's no way in heck am I gonna excuse the second one. Like, what? Like, like, I don't know, just like so many things about this was just like, we have a mean girl I think her name's Abigail, and she has like a redemption arc that was really out from left field, didn't make sense, I didn't like it. There were some things that were like kind of cute. There's like a parent love story that I thought was nice. We get to see some of like characters from other books, like the previous books in the series, and that was nice. But yeah, overall, just this was kind of a disappointment for me, and I ended up giving it a 2.8 out of 5. Number 5 is The Tea Dragon Society Book 1 by Katie O'Neill. I first heard about this, I believe, from the booktube channel, read by Zoe, and it looked super cute. So when Target had their like buy two get the third free sale, I was like, oh, maybe it's time to like stock up on all those like, you know, expensive picture books. And I decided to get the first volume just to see what it was about, and oh my god, it's adorable, so sweet, so charming, so cute. The art is great. The story kind of gives me like Pokemon vibes a little bit, like collect all the tea dragons, like collect all the Pokemon. I don't know, how do I relate everything to Pokemon? But yeah, so the story in essence is about a girl who is a blacksmith apprentice, and she crosses paths with like people who are caregivers, raise tea dragons, and she kind of starts learning that trade. I can see why people would say like this is meh, but for me, I was really looking for a pick-me-up at the time that I picked this up, and it was an amazing pick-me-up, and I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5, and I've already bought the second volume from Target, so it's gonna be here soon. Number 6 is The 12 Mes of Christmas by Gudetama, actually by Francesco Sedita. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So yeah, so I occasionally like to pick up Gudetama books because I love Gudetama. He's one of my favorite newer Sanrio characters, and I think he just defines a lot of our lives. It definitely defines my life, and so I picked this one up because it's almost Christmas season, so why not read about Gudetama and Christmas? This is pretty much a play on like on the first day of Christmas, the 12 days of Christmas. So yeah, if you know the 12 days of Christmas, this is kind of that. I don't know where a lot of the objects for the mez come from, and besides that small complaint, I think this was really cute. The art was really cute. It was just a quick, fun, easy read of just mindless like haha, you know. So I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5. Number 7 is Happy Marriage Volume 5 by Maki and Joji. I've said this before, it's pretty much a josei manga about a rich CEO and a poor employee, and there's kind of like an arranged marriage aspect between the two of them. And I've said this before, like this just has its up and down, and if you read like shoujo or josei manga, you know all the tropes, you know the drill, and this one just follows that path. The slow progression is like slowly killing me, but it's not as bad in this volume. I think this volume picked itself up from the previous volume, and I ended up giving it a 3.2 out of 5. Number 8 is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Volume 2 Cosmic Cooties. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the first volume, and I quite enjoyed it. I recognize that I am not the target audience for this. This definitely reads younger, but I thought the first volume was fun, and I was hoping for the same fun in the second volume, but it just did not deliver, sadly. The plot didn't flow well, and it was like a little boring, and there was a really random love confession out of nowhere that didn't make sense. A lot of this volume just didn't make sense. But anyways, the story is set in the Marvel Universe, and it's about Luna, who is this genius preteen that wants to save the world. Great stuff. Sadly, this volume just wasn't all there. Like, it was just so lacking and missing, and I ended up giving it a 2.5 out of 5, but I will be picking up the 3rd volume hopefully soon. Number 9, last thing, is Kids Are Weird by Jeffrey Brown. This is a reread. I picked this up a long time ago at like a bookstore randomly. It was actually a secondhand bookstore book off. But yeah, so I picked this up, and at that time I thought it was like, it was like a fun like thing to browse through at the bookstore. But recently I reread most of Jeffrey Brown's like Star Wars children's book, and I love them. So I thought it would be nice to just really like read Kids Are Weird. Pretty much the author is like documenting this weird things his son has said. There's no plot, and the humor didn't really like relate with my humor, so it was just okay. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I can see why people would like it if this was like their humor and it's just like a little like each page a funny quote from a kid that you're like haha, but I didn't haha much, so yeah. And I feel like I was reading a lot of like Goodreads reviews, and I think a lot of people felt the same way I did. Anyways, I kindly gave this a 3 out of 5, and I just want to say I hope that everyone is staying safe and taking care of themselves during this holiday season. I know that this holiday season is very different from previous holiday seasons. Like, it makes me sad. And with that being said, like, I just want to like wish everyone like an early and happy like holidays, whichever of the holidays you celebrate. Outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video whenever that is. Bye. I have been reading to what am I saying?